Hey everybody, it is Tonya, Thrifty Treasures. Welcome to episode number 53 of the Reseller Six Pack. And tonight we are going to be discussing sourcing strategies, and also we're probably going to be talking a little bit of books too. So let's meet our panel. Lonnie, you want to go first?
Absolutely. Hey guys, I'm Lonnie, also known as Garage Flips on YouTube. And tonight I looked all around the house. I couldn't find anything to drink. So I came back out to the eBay shack and I forgot I have some isopropyl alcohol right here.
What?
And well, it doesn't taste too bad. I'm mixing it with this LaCroix.
Oh
so
my goodness, get out of town.
I'm not drinking that, obviously. No. I got a bottle of Stoli vodka here. So
Same thing, right?
Yeah, so kids, if you're watching this, do not drink isopropyl alcohol. It's probably not very good.
Not a good idea. So is your vodka flavored, or is it just like...
No, I wouldn't buy flavored vodka. No, this is just straight up Stoli vodka here.
Awesome. Shane?
So I'm Shane, the Rising Grind Picker, and I am drinking a little bit of red wine. Probably have another glass after this. I kind of got on like a wine kick. I had a beer for lunch today, so I'm kind of taking it a little easy tonight. So, and I'm eating a Tide Pod. No, I'm just joking. I'm not. That was...
Well, you're eating a what?
A Tide Pod.
Oh, Tide. Oh, okay.
That was just a really bad joke.
Wow.
Andy?
Howdy, y'all. I'm Andy, the Prairhead Picker on YouTube and Instagram. And tonight I am drinking iced tea. Yesterday I was on the river all day, and I drank probably all three of y'all's shares of booze. So, yeah, I'm not doing so well today, but yeah, iced tea it is. So
Awesome. And I am having dragon fruit vitamin water.
Yum, yum.
One of my favorites. Sourcing strategies. So what I had in mind when I came up with this topic was like sourcing stuff that's unique to your area, like things that other people around the world would like to have. Like for me, I live real close to NASA, and I also live right on the Gulf Coast. So I like to source Hawaiian shirts. And also there's a lot of cowboys down this way here in Texas. So, cowboy boots too are something that I like to source that sell really well that people, tend to buy. What about y'all?
Okay, I'll hop in there. So I live real close to Baton Rouge, which is a college town. And probably a lot of y'all live in college towns, but LSU is real big here. So I run into LSU memorabilia and stuff a lot. And I think anybody in a college town probably has the same experience. And then, you also we're going to talk about books later, I think, but you'll also find you run into textbooks a lot. And also with being in a college town, you're going to find a lot of times you have like a big influx in and out of town, several times throughout the year as people, leave school and come back in. And every time they do that, they're going to be wanting to buy stuff and they're going to be wanting to sell stuff. Right. So that definitely figures into your sourcing strategy when you're in a college town. That was the first. I actually took notes, Tonya. That's one of my first notes. College town. I put college town. I wrote this last night. Books, calculators, and turnover. And turnover is always good for a reseller.
Yes.
yeah,
And calculators are good for resellers too, by the way.
Definitely.
definitely.
Yeah, and I was going to say also your sports teams too. Like here we have the football, Houston Texans, and the baseball, the Astros, and there's people all around that collect that stuff and root for these people, and you have access to it and can be selling it. So just something to think about.
Yeah, and I find like whenever I source LSU stuff, whether it be a yearbook or one time I had like a warm-up jacket from the 80s from the basketball team, I find little odds and ends. Whenever I actually list that stuff, probably about 30-40% of the time is shipping to somebody in Baton Rouge. But a lot of times it's shipping like we have a mass exodus of graduates to go like to Houston, where there's a lot better jobs and all over the country. So a lot of that stuff ends up getting spread out all over the country, So there's people that want stuff from your college in your college town, not just locals,
Yeah. What's been the best for me is I live like 20 minutes away from the University of Illinois, and I pick up the Chief symbol shirts, like the vintage ones, all the time, and they always sell for like $25 to $35.
Nice.
Yeah, because they pretty much ban it. I live about 2 hours away from Shane. I'm a little farther north than what Shane is, but yeah, I run into a lot of the Chief stuff as well. But the thing is with the Chief is, if y'all aren't familiar, the Chief logo is actually pretty much, they kind of banned the logo, because everybody's got to be politically correct. We can't, do this and that. So yeah, if you find the stuff with the big Illini Chief Indian head and stuff like that, it definitely demands a little bit more money. I actually, I think it was on one of Paul Cantu's videos I was watching here not long ago. He actually, I think Tanya knows what I'm talking about. She might, I don't know. But anyway, he actually was out thrifting, and he found a Illini jacket that someone actually had cut the big Chief patch out of, and it was in like one of the thrifts. He had that in one of his videos. I mean, that's, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And P.S. I hate you, Shane. You know what you did.
One thing that I think it's important to remember, though, like when you're sourcing this kind of stuff, that Tanya is talking about, stuff that's unique to your area, is that a lot of the times these things that are unique to your area, you may not, I'm guilty of this probably too, but you may not even realize that they're special in the world because you see so much of them in your area. You think, oh, that's a common item.
That's true.
But 1,000 miles away, they can't get their hands on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe keep that in mind and maybe take a second look at some of those common items you have around you.
Yeah, that's like whenever I'm cleaning out my stuff or my kids' stuff, I'm always like, nobody's going to want this stuff. And lots of times I just donate it. But, I need to stop and take a second look at it. There might be some toys in there that are really valuable.
Right.
Yeah, I came across a hat one time in Illinois, like in Champaign at a Salvation Army. And it was an Old Miss hat. And it was a vintage hat. It was a vintage hat with a vintage, it was like the old man mascot. That thing sold for $59.99. Yeah, the Rebel. It sold for like $59.99 in like 2 days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy stuff. So I made a post in the Resellers six-pack Facebook group yesterday, and we did get a couple questions over there. So let's see. Jonathan Davis asked, do you look at sold listings locally to hunt or what's hot? And I got to say, sometimes, I think he means like the local apps. You think that's what he means? Like Let Go and Offer Up?
Well, can you read that again, Tanya? I'm sorry.
Okay, it says, so do you look at sold listings locally to hunt or to hunt out what's hot?
I don't know what that means.
Do you look at sold listings locally to hunt out what's hot?
How do you look at sold listings locally?
You can look at
selling on like Offer Up, Let Go, the Facebook Marketplace. Because you can see all that stuff.
Yeah,
but you can't see solds, can you? Isn't that
a lot of times, on Marketplace, a lot of times they'll show solds.
Oh, you can?
Sometimes.
Yeah, it'll show sold if they mark their items sold. Yeah.
So the answer for me would be no, obviously, because I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah.
I source very little because there's so much competition in my area. I mean, there's a lot of people that do what I do in my area. So, yeah, Marketplace, and sometimes I'll have a little luck on Let Go. Offer Up is basically non-existent here for some reason. I think that's like out where Steven's stuff are. There's no real Let Go. It's all Offer Up is huge there, but here it's more everybody posts on Let Go that does that sort of stuff. So I can occasionally find some things on there. And I do sell on there as well, especially if I have some bigger items, but
yeah. Hey, Wade. And Joni also brings up a good point. She says to search eBay by location, and you can definitely do that too, to find out what's selling hot.
Yeah, you could actually search eBay by zip code. You could actually just see what's selling in your town. I actually found that out recently, and that's kind of a nice little tool if you're wanting to research local competition, just to see what maybe some of the people in your area are sourcing. I've actually done that myself, just to see how many clothing sellers are in my area, or how many people are selling shoes, who's selling just what. Because you'll start seeing okay, the same person you know, or you get an idea like with the way that people take photos. They all take photos the same way, you know, just like my photos, they all look alike. It doesn't matter, you know. I mean, so you can pick out, you know, okay, these are all from the same reseller. So it is really nice that I think like every once in a while I'll set mine for like a 15-mile radius. That kind of covers about 3 towns around me.
So Andy, do you build like a dossier on these people, and then like,
hey, you know what?
You order something, you find out where they live, you put the hit out.
No. I'm all cool with local competition. I am. I'm really cool with local competition. I have no problem with that at all. I think it's great. You know, I'm not one of them. I mean, I know a lot of people really like when they see the competition out, they're all butthurt over it. This guy's taking all my money. He's I don't care, man. There's so much stuff out there. And if I guess, you know,
But do you have a file on these people or not?
Yeah, there's local people in my area that I do follow. I see what they sell. I know what they sell. I know what they pick up. But you know what? Yeah. They're probably.
Do you know what they look like? Like, would you recognize them out?
Yeah, I know who a few of them are. You know, I know I know 1, maybe 2 that follow me on YouTube. You know, I mean that, you know, they've never publicly admitted it, but I know that they follow me just through some different things that's been said, and I think it's really cool. You know what I mean?
And he finds out because he's waiting outside of the post office in his car with the camera, and he like gets down in the seat and he's like, "I'm gonna see these people now." Let's look
Gosh.
Hey, it pays to be tight with your local postal workers. You know, I got a real good relationship with all my postal workers as well. So, you know, I mean, it does pay to be good, you know, with them people, because you know what, I've kind of said this before in some videos and what have you. You know, they're essentially your employees. You know, whether they're on your payroll or not or what have you, they do essentially work for you in some way. So you should kind of take care of them. You know, I mean, I try to take them things once in a while, or you know, hook them up with stuff, and that way, if I have an issue or whatever, they might be a little more helpful, you know, down the road. So
Right.
You know what's crazy is I searched my my zip code on eBay a little while ago to see how many sellers was in my town, and I live in a town of like 3,000 people, and there's like 10 sellers, and then just this little small town.
Yeah. And I have to the crazy card Mike says, "You guys are laughing. That is a very good way to learn." And you're totally right, Mike. We love Andy. We're just giving him a hard time, but yeah.
It's all good. I just got one of their personalities though that like I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there are a lot of people that get real butthurt over competition and people doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And there are other people that they love to go, you know, like I know Shane and I live close, but we don't. But you know what? I'd love to go thrifting with somebody that lived in my town. I could care less. They, you know, if we both were clothing sellers or both sold video games or whatever, you know, I mean, and I have a buddy I work with that we do go occasionally and we buy a lot of the same stuff. But I'm really good about, you know, being with them other people because I can still learn from this individual, you know, and I think that's great. You know what I mean? Just being open to learning new things, just, you know, being out there with them, you know.
And eventually one of these days. Oh, go ahead, Lonnie. Sorry.
No, I agree with what you're saying, Andy, to a certain extent. Like, I don't mind the competition either because it makes you stronger, right?
It does. It makes you so much stronger.
But in a utopian reseller world, there would be no other video game buyers in my area. And I would go out in the morning. I'd wake up at like 10 a.m. and I would just be like loading like sacks of video games because everybody else doesn't want them. You know, that would be like the utopia, and I would embrace that too. So
yeah, that would be awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And there in my area, and even, I mean, a couple hours south of Andy, I have a ton of competition in my local markets. I mean, I'll go scan books at a thrift store, and 50 to 80% of the books already have the barcodes picked up above the barcode. Just other people scan it. You know what I mean?
Why even bother?
I mean, and believe it or not, I went back and scanned them and found like 5 books they just missed. You know, and
yeah, it's always a challenge for me. Like when I get to the store and if I see another bookseller there scanning the books, like I like make it a goal. I want to find a book that they missed.
Yeah.
You know?
And even with like hard goods and stuff, I have so much competition, you know, in some of the bigger towns around me that I go to. And I mean, it does make it hard to buy things, but that's when you have to like think outside the box. That's why I run Craigslist ads. And then tons of people come to me and I don't have to go to thrift stores.
Right. That's really smart. So give us an example of what an ad is like that you might run?
So I'll run an ad, and I have a picture actually saved on my phone. I can show you. Let me pull it up, and it's just a really generic like like picture, and it just says "We buy your items," and it has some items on there, and literally super generic. And I'll put it in the picture section, and I will post some of the ads. I have about 3 cities around me that I'll source in, so I'll post like 3 ads in all 3 cities, and 3 ads a piece. And I'll put it in like the wanted, and then I'll put it like in the like buying or like the selling pages too. And I'll just say, depends like what I want to go after. Like let's just say it's like vintage concert shirts, which I never do this. I always put like a really generic one, and then I'll list some items. So I'll give you like, so for concert shirts, I'll put like buying vintage music concert shirts. And then I'll go down below and type in buying blah, 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 and kind of explain. And then I'll put contact me, and I'll just put my phone number, contact me or text me, send me a picture of the item that you want to sell. And if I don't do a specified one, I will do the same thing, but then I'll just put the item we buy, I buy your, we'll buy your items, your unwanted items, or we'll buy your items. And then I always put, we pay more than a pawn shop. And then I'll put a list of the items I look for.
Oh, I like that. We
How many calls a day are you getting?
Oh,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, you don't even want to know. So I don't have any ads running right now because I have so much inventory to list. I stopped running them like about 3 weeks to a month ago. I just shut them all off. The first day I post it, I'll get anywhere from 20 to 30 calls first day.
Oh, wow.
The second day, I'll get a few, and that week I'll get a few, and then they'll fall off. And then I'll usually just shut them down, and I'll rerun them all over again.
So do you choose a different ad each time, or do you keep using the same one?
Nope. Just keep using the same one.
All right, guys, I got a drink. I just sold Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I also got an offer for a Fox Outdoor Tactical Scabbard that goes to like a AR-15. I got to consider that too. I may make y'all drink again in a minute.
Okay.
See ya.
Bonnie, do you have best offer on all your items?
I used to not. I used to be like vehemently against best offer. I'd be like, "This is my price. Don't bother me."
Right.
And
Customer service bad.
No, it's not a customer service thing. It's just like
Oh,
my phone was always like, I'd have something up for like $15 and they'd offer $6, and it'd be like this big back and forth thing.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
Yeah.
this is a waste of time. I don't even want to have that item in my inventory anymore anyway. So maybe I should sell it. But finally I came back around. I'm like, you know what? Get over yourself, turn best offer on. And I did it, especially on the higher price stuff. Now, some stuff like that video game that just sold, video games, a lot of times I won't put best offer on those. It's like, it sells too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your price.
Right.
Yeah.
How about a little take it or leave, but like on some like a $300 backpack, somebody comes at me with $250 and I'm a little hungry right there. At that moment I might say, hey, I'll take it, So.
Yeah, definitely depends on like what time of the month it is for me too, because if I've got a bunch of my little bills to pay and stuff, I'm more likely to accept an offer than I am, if it was like later on.
Or maybe it's a slow sales day.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to break the ice with a sale. You know what I mean? It's psychological. There's psychological implications.
Yeah.
Shane, so I have a couple questions for you, twofer.
Yeah.
So the first one is like, where do you typically meet these people when you set up a deal? And then the second part of my question comes from Barry, 5-Day Flipper. He says, what's the best day to start your ads?
I typically will start them on a Friday because people get paid on a Friday a lot.
Ooh, smart. I like that.
So when people get paid, like, I don't know what most people do, but a lot of people will burn through their check instantly because they have bills to pay. So they'll get paid and they'll spend their whole check, or, on bills, or they'll spend a good portion of it. So I will go ahead and I'll post it on a Friday and run it till Friday. And I run it to the next Friday because it's not a payday. And so the people that's looking for a little extra money to pay those few bills on Friday or whatnot. The second part is where I meet them is I will literally, so this is going to be like really crazy, But I never give them my address. I've met people usually sometimes down the street at the gas station like once or twice. But whatever city I run it in, like let's say I run it in Bloomington, Illinois, because I run it in 3 to 4 cities at a time. I will just say, because I live so close to there, I'll say I'll meet you at the Walmart on this road in 30 minutes. And it's right off the interstate, and I get off and get back on. I always pick the closest place to the interstate just because it's easy.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. For me, if I was going to do it, being a lady, I'd probably meet them at the police department. In the past, whenever I've done deals like that, that's just where I always end up meeting people.
And a lot of times I've met people really late at night too, like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I'll usually say like a gas station or Walmart because the parking lot is really lit. And there's usually
lit, like in like
yeah, like in party. No. It's really lighted, and there's usually a lot of people around. So you don't really have to worry. You know what I mean? Like no one's gonna murder you when there's 45 to 100 people in the parking lot. I always try to park up close to the front because usually if they're going to do something stupid like that, they don't want witnesses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of places I know, like where I live, I think we have 2 like designated online meeting spots. They got big signs that says everything is being recorded. There's cameras right there. It's all well lit.
At your police department?
What's that? I think there's one at at our library, which is right next to the police department. So that really doesn't matter. And then we have another one across town. Yeah,
that's awesome.
We might have that too, but like I said,
I think they call it like a designated pickup point or something like that. I think that was like what the name of it is, or I don't know. But yeah, there's a great big sign that says, this area is under constant video surveillance. It's always well lit and stuff like that. So
I'm trying to remember. This kind of ties in. I'm trying to remember. There was a stream I was watching this past week. I think it might have been David McMillan, the car boot picker. He asked a question. He said he was playing this game. He had like a game night on his channel, and he had a question: what kind of business would you like to start? And wouldn't it be cool if there was like a shared space for resellers, like people that did eBay or Amazon or all that kind of stuff? And sometimes you need a packing table, but most of the times you don't. And there's all kind of like equipment and stuff like that. And then you could also rent storage too. I think this could be like in a big metropolitan type area. This could be like a viable thing where you could have like offices, computers, printers, packing stations,
especially like Chicago.
Sell boxes. They could sell. Yeah. They could like bulk order boxes at good prices, sell them, and then have like a shared workspace thing. What were we talking about though just now? Before to go along with that, you could also have a spot that would be there's safety in numbers, right? You could have like your designated little transaction spot, with cameras, like witnesses.
Yeah, like Brian Notebook Picker said, a co-op. Yeah, so like a reseller co-op, which would be essentially. Yeah, you could have all the shipping supplies there. So you grab a box and pay kind of like a pay as you go for supplies and stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
You could have storage units on the property where they could store everything in, and you could charge extra for that.
Make it so, Lonnie.
Yeah. Start it up, Lonnie.
I'm an idea man.
Better patent that idea, but
I'm the idea man. I am not a doer on something like that. That's way out of my league.
It's a lot of money to start up.
All right.
But for me though, what I was gonna say is I've had some scary Craigslist deals. Like they've been pretty scary to me. But
that's because you're going out at 11 to 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah. But I carry a gun in my car, so that's the difference. And I'll never forget this one time I met this guy. He's like, "Here's my address, come by," and he had some gaming systems. And I pull up, and man, it was the hood. It was the hood. And he comes out, and he has like one tooth, and he's like, "Here it is. Here they are." And I gave him $20, and I'm like, "Zzz, get the hell out of there."
Uniquely, Mia is thinking about this place that I'm visualizing here. She's visualizing it as a very messy place, and I would have to agree. There would be shit all over the place.
Yes, it was. It was not a good part of town to be in.
No. I mean the shared workspace for resellers. Resellers are slobs. That place would be horrible. There would be like spent like tape rolls just strewn on the floor.
Death piles just laying there.
Oh yeah. Oh, it'd be bad. the backs of your peel away labels. They was.
Oh my god, those are the worst. Hey, I got a great hack for those guys. Well, actually, it's not mine. I believe it was Resale Rabbit. I believe it was Resale Rabbit did it, or it was somebody. It's not mine, but I use it all the time. There's a great hack for those. You just take a piece of like tape, like from your tape gun, roll it around so it's basically double-sided, stick it on a table, and when you're doing all those shipping where you got all them little plastic tabs on all your stuff, basically you peel them off, you just stick it on that, just hit that little piece of tape, and they stick to that so that static cling isn't all over everywhere, and it works great. I got a little roll that I just got rid of it, so it's not on my table right now, but I got a little roll I usually keep there, and it works awesome for getting rid of those. But yeah, I've seen somebody else do it one time. This is a great idea.
You try and put them down, like, I'll throw this one away.
Yeah, it's still stuck. Yeah. So like I said, that little thing of tape is great. So as soon as it's still stuck to your hand, you just slap that tape and it sticks to the tape, and you're at least free. So yeah, it's a great little hack.
Hey, Jory, welcome.
Hey, how are you guys?
Jory.
Had a screaming child. Hopefully he's not going to be too loud now. I don't think he's feeling too good.
So Jory, tell us what do you like to source that's local to your area that's really hot?
That's local to my area. The only thing local to me is my e-waste guy, really. So just old electronics and computers. That's my big thing, and video games, I guess.
Yeah, and maple syrup.
and maple syrup, yeah, and maple syrup also. Yeah, clothing's not great around here. You don't find a ton of the most high-end stuff you're gonna find here is Guess. And that's just
wow.
It's okay, but you don't find a ton of high-end clothing around here. Old electronics you do. I don't know anything about suits, but you find a lot of old suits here because there's a lot of elderly. About it. I envy most of your guys sourcing.
There's definitely plenty clothes to go around here. I was thinking that earlier whenever Andy was talking about shopping with his friend. There's definitely. And because, a lot of people source different kinds of clothing too. Some people might just be into men's stuff, and some people just into women's. And so, yeah.
I think we don't have as much because it took a lot longer for Canada to get some of the high-end brands you guys have. Like it took a lot longer to see a lot of them over here. So I think that's maybe the issue why you don't see them as much.
Here's something I was wondering, because I was thinking about the college students earlier. We have thousands and thousands. I don't know how many students are at LSU, but I think it's like probably 30,000, 35,000 students. But I don't see that stuff come up for sale that often, like at garage sales and stuff. Those guys, for the most part, like the local apps and stuff, Facebook, eBay, they're way more savvy. Like the younger people, they're savvy. They're not I don't think we're seeing most of their stuff when they're at that age.
No, well, I know my buddy, he buys all the furniture off all the college guys. He sells them half the furniture, and he always gives them a card and says, when you're done with it, I'll pick it up. He says 9 times out of 10, it's the landlords that call and say, hey, the students left a whole house of furniture. And they
furniture, furniture would make sense. But other stuff,
hell, I see most of the students at the thrift store buying shit.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think they're throwing it in the thrift store really. It's my grandma taking the box of things to the thrift store, and
I know by me a lot of it goes in dumpsters. Like my brother-in-law, he works for a company installing cable. He'll find brand new Blu-ray players in the box in the dumpster. Just because they don't have the room to take it, they just pitch it. Yeah, and so I like the dumpster dive.
Yes, and that's what Dwayne has talked about before in the past too. Like whenever these college kids leave town, go check the dumpsters and stuff at the apartments and whatnot, wherever they're staying, because there's definitely things to be found there too.
Well, especially all the international, we have UWO here, and there's thousands of students that come in for that, and a lot of them are just international, and it's crazy what gets left behind or just thrown out because they're not taking it back with them. They have their education, they're gone. It's
Yep.
It's all just left over.
All right. Well, we did have a couple more questions from George Dean in the Facebook group. He's asking about police auctions, which I really don't know anything about that. He says, police auctions, any other local auctions we should be looking for, storage units, buying storage units, the good, the bad, the ugly. And then he mentions liquidation auctions and websites to trust. So that's a lot to cover.
I've been to an auction locally here that the state runs like once a month, where they sell like surplus stuff, and usually it's from upgrades. So, they'll have like a pallet of computers or a pallet of laptops, or trucks out in the lot. They'll have cars and trucks, and usually this stuff is coming from offices, universities, hospitals, things like that, and they usually work too. They're usually in working order. It's just from upgrades. If it didn't work, it usually doesn't make it there. But it's a great place to get inventory. It really is. In some fields, in some certain categories, it can be very competitive price wise. But I've gotten some great deals there before. It's an all day affair too.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, our local police auction, I know, like where I live, it just seems like it's always bicycles.
That's all ours is.
I mean, like literally the police station, like where I live, the police station is, I can see their parking lot from my backyard. And so I pay my electric bill and stuff. The public works building is right there attached to the police station and all that stuff. And there's a huge cage that's on the outside of the building, and it is just cram packed with bicycles all the time. And then it seems like that's all it's like whenever the auction comes in, it's like all them bikes are gone. And then it's almost a matter of just minutes. It seems like then that thing's just filled right back up again. It's like, I have no idea where all these bicycles come from. It's always bikes.
We always have bikes, and then at the end, at least one or two cars with the seats cut right open, the door panels ripped off.
Right.
And, well, I wonder if they found drugs in that one, or they just cut the guy's car all apart.
Oh my gosh.
I assume they found it since they're auctioning his car off.
Right. Here's a good little tip: is if you live in a state where you have a conservation police, pretty much every state does. In Illinois, the conservation police will have an auction like once or twice a year on all the sporting goods that they actually take from illegal hunters and fish. And so they'll have fishing rods, deer stands, bows, guns, cars, ATVs, everything. And they usually have it like once or twice a year.
They can't get that stuff back?
No, that's brutal here too. You fish without a license, they can take your damn truck.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Anything in Illinois, the conservation police have more authority than any state government body in the state of Illinois.
Have you been before, Shane? Have you been?
What's that? No, I it was actually the first one of this year was like last month, and I missed it.
Because I was curious to know, like, I imagine it'd be some resellers, and it'd probably be a lot of people that are buying the stuff for personal use.
Right.
Potentially, I don't know, I haven't been, but could potentially, you're willing to pay 50-60% of what of retail. They're willing to pay 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's a lot of auctions even around here. That's the problem you come into anyway. But my thinking is, and I'll probably go to one later this year when they have the next one. But one bow, because I used to be a huge bow hunter. One bow, some of those retail at over $1,000.
Wow.
So if you can buy one for $100 and resell it for like 7 to 8, it's a home run all day long. But in Illinois, if you fish or hunt, so anything of those, if you take anything illegal without a license or anything, they can confiscate everything you used to take that illegal game fish or animal. So they can take, if you use an ATV or a truck, they can take all of it and take it and not give it back, and then they sell it.
I had a buddy that was hunting coyotes out of his truck, and they took all his guns. They took his truck. Shane's right.
Yeah,
they took his truck. They took all his guns. They took everything. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I go, that is crazy. He goes, yeah. He goes, I was being a dummy. He goes, I'm pissed, but I deserved it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
he
hell.
knew what he goes. I knew what I was doing. He go, you know, it was just one of those things. He goes, I got caught.
But like,
Okay, so wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but I have to say thank you for the super chat. So Stephen Covio says, congrats on receiving my first super chat. Thanks for all you guys do. Thank you, Stephen. And then Adam sent one too. Thank you, Adam. Adam says, wow, Tonya, the super chat just showed up. Congrats. So thank you, Adam. Okay, sorry to interrupt, but nobody should be hurting coyotes.
No.
Oh yeah, the coyotes come around here and they eat the cats, they eat the little dogs, they eat the chickens.
Well, that's not nice either, but
So
you
you gotta
know,
shoot them.
they're more scared of you than you are of them.
No, they're not. Go walk out in the backfield around here in the middle of the night. Let me know how scared those coyotes are of you when they start surrounding you and howling.
Right, I'd be running and screaming like a little baby.
Yeah, and I guess it depends where you are. They're overpopulated here. It's a big issue here. I think you're just allowed to shoot them year-round here if they come on your property.
Yeah.
It's weird shooting them though. It's not fun shooting a coyote because it's kind of like shooting a dog. But
yeah.
Yeah, let's change the subject.
sometimes.
I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So I was going to tell George Dean if he happens to watch this back, and he might even be here on YouTube, but Stephen's staff are really good to check out for the auctions too, and the liquidations and stuff like that, and websites to trust.
They do like they do like the Disney. They get stuff from the Disney liquidation. They get stuff from government liquidation. They're really good for auction stuff. They can answer some questions for sure.
Yeah, they go to a lot of auctions.
Or they do them all, I think it's all online though, and then they go pick it up in person for the most part.
See, in Illinois, we just don't have a whole lot of online auctions here.
Most of ours are online here. Any of the auction houses a lot of them that used to do like the ones where you could just show up, they've all kind of converted to online, and they don't have them at the warehouse anymore. They don't do them on the storage plate. Like even the storage ones I do are all live now.
Wow.
Okay, everybody's talking about coyotes in the chat.
I'm sorry.
I love all animals, and you know, people sometimes give me a hard time about the taxidermy that I collect, but I think it's a great way to preserve the animal's beauty, especially if a hunter was going to kill them anyway. But I just love all animals, and I don't think that I could ever actually bring myself to shoot an animal, but I agree with Jory. I feel like shooting a coyote, you know, unless they got my dog in their mouth, I'd feel really bad about it.
Yeah.
You know,
we
if
don't
they
go
got
out
one of my
looking for
chihuahuas
them,
in their
but
mouth, they're going down.
we don't go out looking for them. But as soon as like a couple chickens end up dead at the farm, and you realize it's coyotes coming in, you just kind of wait around one night. And they show up. Usually they'll have a den somewhere in the field. So,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Jory.
Oh, I was just say they get shot a lot less than the groundhogs around here.
Is there a good segue to bring this back to reselling?
I don't know.
I don't know if there is a possible way to segue this.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I'll sell you some maple scented coyote pelts.
Well, I think this would be a good time to maybe switch over to talking some books, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah, so a lot of us have been talking about the books lately. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a big bookseller. My favorite things to sell are jewelry and books, definitely. And I'd say probably in the last year, I had kind of gotten away from selling books so much, which was, in my opinion, I'm recently realizing was a big mistake, because I made a lot of good money whenever I was selling the books. And I always had money when I was selling books. So I'm definitely getting back into that. I've already gotten back into it. And I'm already seeing the profits from it too. So, and I know Shane has recently got really into it, and Lonnie too. And Andy, you sell books too, right? Sometimes?
Very little. Yeah. I mean, I have a few that are up on Amazon. I have a few that need to go in, but they're probably never going to make it in. I'm horrible about sending stuff into Amazon lately. So, you know, if it's stuff I could list on eBay, but books, just for whatever reason, books don't sell the greatest on eBay. They just not as quickly, I guess, you know, so, you know, I think people just naturally go to Amazon to buy books.
They do, and you'd be surprised how many people know about Amazon, but they don't think to go look at eBay, and vice versa too. They go look at eBay for stuff, and they won't even go look at Amazon.
Right.
Because, like, I can't tell you how many times that a book will be worth nothing on Amazon. I'll go and list it on eBay and still make a good profit off of it. So
Right.
that's why I double list my book inventory also, most of it, unless it's like below a certain sales rank. I know it's going to sell really fast on Amazon.
So Tonya, you merchant fulfill all your books?
I do both. I don't have a whole lot at FBA right now. I'm kind of like trying to get that started back up again.
The storage fees in FBA, the long-term storage fees is what made me get a lot of books back from when I bought that huge storage unit of books. Can't fit as long now, so the sales ranking went down. I do good on old weird books though for Etsy, I find.
Yeah.
Probably more for decorative purposes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've sold books on Etsy before too.
So I'm sorry,
No,
Tonya. I was going to ask you a question, Tonya, from Adam. He's saying, Tonya, what percentage of books that you scan would you say you purchase?
Very little.
Yeah.
Very
For me, well, I can tell you right now, I can tell you my scans, and I'll pull them up right now because I track my scans. This is going to be crazy. So I've scanned just this last week 4,627 books, and I only kept 11%.
Wow, what app are you
Right.
using?
Scout IQ.
Dude, that's a lot. 11%? That's like 400
huge.
something books.
Yeah,
I
that's huge.
mean, 11% is good.
It's 1 out of 10 books. That's a lot, man.
But
Yeah, I thought it's about 1 to 2%. I think is about normal, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
when I bought
here's-
that storage
Yeah.
unit with like 15,000 books, it was like maybe 300 books that went into FBA of like
Right.
honestly 15,000 books. The rest went to bookstores for 10 cents a
But
piece.
here's the deal. That's just my accept rate. And so so let me explain this. When Scout IQ hits on a book, I don't always accept it.
Right.
Because I would say around 4 to 5% has no e-score at all, which means it hasn't ever sold. It just hit because the price was so high. And so when you kind of take that into account, it might be like
there's only one seller on it, but it's never sold, and they got it
Right.
listed high.
But
Yeah.
where
I
are
don't
you
pick up those
scanning?
books either.
Where are you scanning books that you're getting? Because like I went today, I scanned about like, I don't know, yard sales. I didn't run into a lot of books yesterday. So I ended up buying like 3 books. I scanned maybe, had a real high hit rate there, right? I scanned maybe 50, 60 books.
Right.
Ended up buying 3. Today I scanned like, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred at Goodwill and this other place, which I'm pretty sure have been scanned already by other people. I bought 1 book. Okay. So where are you going to thrift stores and getting this 11% or what? That's a lot.
I'm going to everywhere, but I just got back last weekend from a book sale. It was a book sale last weekend that had over 10,000 books.
So they hadn't been scanned before.
They had never been scanned when I went there. There wasn't even anybody there scanning or nothing. It was crazy. So I probably sourced just that. I did it for 4 hours, and then I sourced over 35 books just in that amount of time.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Hey, whenever you go, do you bring you a little bitty buggy cart?
No, I got it's somewhere around here. It's like a one of those green shopping bags or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like the cloth ones, the shopping bags.
Listen,
I just bring one of those.
I don't play around. You got to get you something on wheels. You got to get you something on wheels. I got one of those little bitty box things on wheels, and it's not too big and it's not too small. It's kind of just right to carry a good amount of books.
But I use this this app, or not really an app. It's a site, and it's called Book Sale Scouter or something like that. And it maps out where all the book sales are at around you or in the entire United States.
So it's not the book sale finder?
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Book sale finder. Yep.
Okay, yeah. I was like, oh, there's another one? That'd be good to know.
Yeah, no, I couldn't remember what it was called, but so I got another one marked. I don't know if I'm going to make it next weekend. It's in St. Louis, and they have over 1 million books in St. Louis.
Crazy.
That's a lot of books. How far of a drive is that for you?
About 2 hours.
That's not that bad.
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all.
I need to do more traveling for books. I don't do any traveling.
Well, that's why I started, is because of the thrift stores. Like Lonnie said, like I have 2 resale stores by me that have a ton of books. The rest of them don't. But I have one that's like my honey hole, and they have like their whole upper floor is just nothing but books. It's crazy. And I'll go up there and scan a ton, but thrift stores, it's slim picking for books.
Do y'all ever watch these shows? I don't, History Channel or stuff like that, where they have these idiots that go to Alaska and they like look for gold, and they have all these machines and
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about, and then like at the end of the run, they have all the leavings, right, that they didn't find gold in. I think scanning for books, for the most part, at Goodwill is going to be like picking through some of those leavings, trying to find gold that they've already searched.
I think it depends on where you live, because there are definitely Goodwills that are selling on Amazon and eBay, and you definitely have to watch out for that. Like, luckily in my area, I don't think that they're doing that yet, because I've got some really profitable books just this past week. So
I don't mean to say that you can't find books. I'm just saying, like,
they're hard.
I'm looking for more fertile ground. Like, my whole strategy with books is to just scan the books at the yard sales and estate sales that I'm already going to anyway, just because I think there's a high probability they've never been scanned.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, fresh virgin books. You know?
Yeah. And that's
Untouched.
like that book sale I went to. It was in a bookstore, and everything was 50 cents to $1. That's all. And that's what it was. No one was scanning. No one had ever scanned.
Yeah.
It was just completely unscanned books. And my accept rate became crazy high because of that 1 4-hour day.
There's lots of booksellers in my area. A lot of them. I run into people scanning books all the time.
I don't hear. There's not a lot of booksellers here.
I've been seeing it a lot.
Yeah,
Like, I see people like scanning CDs. I see people scanning DVDs, and people scanning books. I see it all. I've been seeing a lot more Bluetooth scanners lately too.
Me too, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I haven't seen is the Bluetooth scanners, but yeah, I see people scanning books in my local Goodwill and at garage sales, and it's funny because like I know what they're doing, especially even like at a garage sale. You know, you'll see some dude, popping off on the books and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh wow, I go, so hey, good for them. I mean, I don't jump on books too much until it's more the winter time, because winter everybody's in the thrift stores because there's no garage sales, so it's just moving into another area to source different things. That's when I'll hit books. But
I think Adam asked a question earlier to me about what scanner I use, and I use a KDC 200. This is it right here. It has a protective device over it, but I got this on a super good deal for like $76 on eBay, but they run about $200 to $240.
Holy cow!
Yeah, Groovemaster Reseller is saying he waits until the scanners are done and get the ones they are too lazy to look up. That's a good point. I mean, you got to use some. I think my strategy is to kind of use like heart scanner combined with intelligence as a human being.
Right.
That's right.
And then you combine those two things together, and you have the speed of the scan plus your friggin' brain, which is way faster than the scanner could ever be.
Yeah.
Combine those two powers together, and then, man, you got something.
I've made a lot of money off of books that don't have a barcode on them. So.
And the best thing is, I don't just scan. I scan, and when I get to a book, with Scout IQ, you can type in the ISBN right there. So it's super easy, and I'll type a lot of them in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Cam Rake says, I think you have to look at titles and content on books. Don't waste too much time on scan. I mean, I think you can do both, though. There have been books I've picked up because I've always, up to now, I've like gone into the thrift store, I cruise by the book section, and I just try and use my Lonnie brain to Lonnie scan stuff out of there, and then I bring it up and I buy it. I don't even look them up a lot of times. Bring them. Sometimes I do. It just depends.
Yeah, it's like the niche books. Those always seem to be a little better, or at least worth.
Anything that's a repair book.
Right.
Like sewing machine repair, a freaking car repair. If it's an actual repair manual for a certain device. I find I do good with them.
But I found a lot of times I'm right, but then a lot of times I am so wrong. You know, and scanners are really good for that. Like, I remember when I first started reselling, I thought coffee table books, man, they're pretty, they're awesome, they're big, they got pictures, they're worthless. You know,
right?
Well, and that's the thing about Amazon is like you can scan 100 books and you're like, this book looks awesome, and the rank's like 3 million, and it's like negative $8 profit because it's just not selling.
Yeah,
you know, and for me, the biggest group of books is religious books. I will scan a whole shelf of those all day long and not complain.
Yep, definitely. And it's nice whenever you're somewhere and you get a whole bunch of books and it's like they're all on the same topic. Like I know Lonnie recently did that, and and don't forget also about my color code theory too. So, you know, if you're at the thrift store a lot and you know the colors of the week, like for me, when I go into my Goodwill, my favorite one that I'm at every single day, it's easy for me to find all the new books because I know what the color of the week is, and I know what I've already looked at and what's new. So I'll just go scan all the new books or the ones that I think are worth something. So
boy, don't you wish they
we
would
don't
put
use
all the
color tags here anymore. Sorry, go ahead, Lonnie.
I was just gonna say, don't you wish they would put all the books from that week in the same section? That would save so much time, wouldn't it?
it would save a lot of time.
And mine, they put them like wherever they get in, where they fit in with the new colors. You know, it's like,
oh, and my Goodwill, they put every single barcode over the UPC barcode.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Every single one, because they told me the other day that they scan the books, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I said you'd gain a lot more money if you would just not put that over there. So I was like peeling my thumb, and Scott told me a trick. He's like, keep a Scotty peeler in your pocket, and I'll literally just boop, 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 and scan it. Boop, 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 just scrape the tag up. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe they would
why are they doing that? Why would
because
they do
that? They don't want they
don't want to sell the books.
My Goodwills have completely changed from what it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I had some of the best Goodwills probably in Illinois, and they've completely changed to where they're like anti-reseller. They've all had they all have huge boutique areas, and they try to cover every UPC so no one can scan it.
I would love, you know what I would like? I would like to take like a Goodwill, went on a busy day, and like let's say there's 50 people. And I would like to have a wand, and I would say, okay, I'm going to cast a spell. It's going to instantly remove out of these 50 people everyone that is not a reseller. Boom, presto.
Yeah.
I'll bet there would be three or four people left in that joint.
Yeah.
They rely on resellers, I think, way more than they even realize they do.
Yeah. I think it's probably 50% of their business or more.
Yeah, I'm exaggerating.
My one of the main people at my local Goodwill, they told me it's about 70% because we were kind of talking one day. They said, probably about 70% of their business is all resellers. And they said they have some people that come in there 2 to 3 times a day, every single day. And I'm like, because every once in a while I'd be like, oh man, I've been in here, every day this week, and like, oh, don't worry about it. We got some guys that come in here, and when we have some guys come in here, 2-3 times a day. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I have a friend who does it. Yes,
who goes in there 2-3 times a day? But
they're waiting to see the new stuff as it comes.
Yeah, but you know what? That's it. They pick stuff out every hour, or every half hour, or whatever it is, and
I don't know if I can do that.
But that's sick that they cover up barcodes to combat resell. That is so dumb. They want to buy their stuff.
I actually should have filmed it, but I brought it up. It was like 3 days ago, and I brought it up to the counter person, and it happened to be the assistant manager. I'm like, why do you guys cover every barcode? I'm like, because I'm just gonna be honest. I'm a reseller, and I'm scanning books. I can't scan. Yeah, I said I can't scan a single one, and it's kind of ticking me off. So I just started peeling them off.
You need to make a video, Shane.
And I said I just started peeling them off, and she went, and she's like, we cover the barcodes because we scan them. I'm like, I don't really care what you do. I don't want to have to sit there and peel up everyone. And she's like, well, I'm not in charge, so I'm just gonna do what I'm told.
Is this really the way this conversation went down, dude?
Yeah, I swear.
Dang, are you on steroids?
I was confrontational because I spent like 2 hours peeling up barcodes, and my thumbs were like
confrontational.
They hurt so bad. I'm like, you guys would gain so much more money if you wouldn't cover up the barcodes, and they just didn't care. They didn't care at all. They didn't care. They're like, nope, don't care. We scan the books. Too bad. Have a nice day.
So our Goodwill puts the price tag sticker over top of the barcodes. It shows the price, and that's how they scan it into their system. And if you peel that, they won't sell it to you if the price tag's damaged. Because I found things with the price tags stop, and I'm like, can I buy it? It's like, no, we can't scan it. We can't sell it to you. They're like, no one's here to reprice it, so you have to wait. And I'm like, I didn't stick a lower price on. Just sell me the $4 game.
Right.
But they won't do it.
Right. And see, mine still will, but I just literally now take this with me and I just peel up the edge so I can scan the barcode.
Dude, I would go peel those things off even if I didn't sell books, man.
Just peel them off over and over.
Dude, just hire somebody to go in before you. Somebody's
small mouth peeled stickers in a corner.
Take the Scotty peeler.
Our Salvation Armies, I have 2 Salvation Armies that are relatively close to me, are the ones that I frequent.
That's a good idea, Lonnie. That's a really good idea.
No, look at Brian. I'm sorry, Andy. Look, Brian the overpicker said shame was thumb hurt.
Yeah, I found out a couple of the Salvation Armies that are close to me that I'll hit once in a while. They actually take marker where the barcode is, and they'll put a big dark spot, like in the barcode on the back with a permanent marker, so you can't scan them.
I guess they don't want to get cherry picked, right? Like, is that could the only thing is they don't want to get cherry picked and be left with all junk. But still, that's selling this stuff. I don't get it, man.
Right.
They're selling it for a low profit anyway. Hey, so I have to say hi to Pete. Craigslist Hunter came in the chat. He says, I have a scanner for everything who wants to make an offer. I will sell it cheap. But yeah, you couldn't sell a book anyway once they put black Sharpie all over it, right? I mean, you wouldn't want to.
They use grease pens at mine to write on some stuff. And typically, unless it's like a porous material, you can just like rub it off. Like with a little alcohol, or like use what I'm drinking here tonight. Use that.
Is that 70 or 90 proof from Lonnie?
This is the good stuff, dude. This is this is the old 91 proof here.
Nice.
Hey, kids at home, do not drink isopropyl. Promise me you won't do that, please.
Hey, Joel.
Sorry, Tonya.
That's okay.
No, it's not.
You guys are so crazy.
Tracy Thrift says textbooks are the best, and I agree. But textbooks for right now are the only books that I've ever scanned, and some of them I'm restricted in. Some textbooks Amazon will not let you sell.
Really?
I just scanned one tonight. It's a $130 book. Can't sell it.
Hey, I sold a hat just now. Y'all got to drink and stuff.
Man, you're on fire tonight. Did you accept it all too?
I had a slow day today, so it's kind of. But check this out. This is actually a cool little hat I picked up at an estate sale for like $1. Look at it. It's pretty cool. Can y'all see it? Okay. Look, it's this mesh trucker hat that says Hawaii.
Nice.
It's got like the what do you call those little leaves
Scrambled
or whatever?
eggs.
Scrambled eggs on the front and stuff. So pretty cheap.
That's really cool.
What did it sell for, Lonnie?
Just 15 plus shipping. Yeah, I've had it listed for a long time. So I have like $1 into it,
Yeah, not bad. Oh gosh, did y'all hear that?
What's that?
Okay, I guess you didn't hear it. I had a phone call coming through.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Just barely.
What are y'all giggling about? Let me go check the chat over
They're being good in the side chat. They're not picking on me right now.
Y'all better be nice. I'm glad he joined us tonight.
But yeah, to come back to the books, so like I don't envision myself going into like a book sale and spending hours scanning books. I'm just gonna scan, like if I see an interesting box of like physics books, maybe some guy was an electrical engineer, and I'm at his house. I can hit him real quick with a scanner. I'll do that. But I'm not going to go to Goodwill and spend an hour or two scanning.
Okay,
I
Lonnie,
won't do that.
let's talk about that. So you said that you're not going to scan the books at Goodwill. Do they use the color code system where you live?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't employed it yet.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just know the new color and just look for the new color only?
Because I'm not that smart. I walk through the front door of the Goodwill. I eyeball the case up front real quick. Then I kind of walk by the shoes real quick. Head by the electronics. I hit the books. Like I'm the worst thrifter ever. Like you would hate me. I'd be like, all right, I'm done. Let's go. And you'd be like, I just got here. I take 5-10 minutes tops.
That's crazy
for sure. Yeah.
Every single day.
Honestly, that's about how I do it though. I mean, I pretty much hit all the aisles. It takes me about 5, no more than 10 minutes tops to hit all the aisles. And then I go through the clothing real quick, and I'm real fast through the clothes.
And Saturday, I just spent 2 hours in a Goodwill scanning books. That's it.
Oh my
One
God.
Goodwill?
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah,
dude. If I ever did that, you would have to keep firearms away from me, man.
Someone in the chat posted a little bit ago, and I remember Prof Sales talking about this, and he refers to the VOT. It's the value of time. What value do you place on your time? And that's I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I could spend 4 hours scanning books. There's no way. But,
to me, yeah, I can't spend that long. Now that I'm get back into the books, I'm definitely spending a little bit more time in the stores, but not a ton. I mean, I've been doing it a long time. I'm pretty fast at it, finding if I'm going to find something, especially when you use the color code system,
right.
because it's the same color code for all the Goodwills in Houston. So
Amazon Seller 99 says Lonnie will start scanning books once he starts making good money from books. It's a pain, but worth it. And he's absolutely right. This is a trial for me. If I try the books and I like it and I'm making a little money, I will go deep. I will go deeper into it. If I don't like it or I'm not making much money, I'll sell the Bluetooth scanner on eBay for probably about what I paid for it. I'll cancel the Scout IQ thing and I'll move on and I find something else to try,
It was a trial for me too.
Yeah. And another, Lonnie and I have been talking about this scanner thing. And, I don't use a scanner and I never have. I've always used my iPhone and the Amazon Seller app. And the reason why is because I don't want a little machine making a decision for me, because many times I've sold books on eBay that I still make a profit on that are not worth anything on Amazon. So,
but you can do both.
Right.
What do you mean?
Well, you can use the information from that plus the information, and you've got however many years of experience. You combine those two tools together, and man, I think it can only make you better. I would think.
Well, I'm gonna say bye, guys, because I now got vomit on my shoulder and a sick baby that's awake again. So I'm gonna go deal with a very upset baby. Have a good night, everyone.
Hey, Jory.
I'm starting to get a little buzz. Maybe I should move this away from me.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So I don't accidentally drink it.
That would be kind of funny though.
No, if I
The emergency room.
Well, I mean,
if I died on Tanya's stream.
You would spit it out. I mean, if you accidentally drank it, you would spit it out. Then you would be okay.
Depends on how drunk you are, I guess. I'm not that drunk.
Yeah, but so anyway, I just never did it. I mean, I looked into it, a long time ago, and I just I never pulled the trigger on it. Just always use my phone.
And in the past, I've always said, "Oh, I hate Amazon. I hate selling on Amazon," and now I love it.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like for me, I can't sell more stuff than I'm selling right now.
Without a helper?
I'll never, and I won't do that either. So I've only got two choices: sell higher dollar stuff, which is I try and do that,
right?
Or hire Amazon for some stuff, not all of it, because I like eBay better. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shane.
But no, I was just saying I was kind of against Amazon, and now that I've started doing FBA and I've started scanning books, like I'm addicted to it. And
it's fun.
So if I go into a thrift store, and I get a lot of good books, if I start hitting a lot of good books right away, I'll stay there for a long time. If I don't hit one for a while, I'll just kind of scout around, pick up a couple interesting ones, scan that row, and then I move on to the next one. But,
yeah, let you know that there's definitely been other scanners there for sure.
Yeah, and then it's picking up on when they scan, because if you can get there before them, you can kind of turn the tables a little bit.
Yeah. The books that I found recently this past week, I picked up right out of the cart, so they hadn't even had a chance to hit the shelf. So that was exciting. Yeah.
Maybe I should just start waiting.
Kind of like playing a slot machine. You know, you start hitting on it, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna keep going. But yeah, you're
right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just want to do it all, guys. Like I want to try everything.
Yeah.
Like give everything a good, honest effort, and then make a determination. Because I've heard, like I've had a lot of people like on YouTube that I've watched, and they say, "Oh, this is the nuts. This is great. This is awesome." And then I try it out, and I'm like, "That's crap. That sucks." I found really that if I don't try everything for myself, I won't ever know.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And that's how I am like with the clothes. Like, and that's how I started off on eBay too. I was selling a lot of clothing and stuff like that. Because, I enjoy fashion and whatnot. And I like to pick up the clothes and resell them. But they're just such a slow mover. And I wish they would sell faster. And I think that's kind of why I got out of the books with Poshmark coming along and getting into that. I started getting more back into the clothing. And
but you know what's good though, Tonya? Is it like I try clothes, right? And I generally don't like them much. But then even if I don't still buy clothes as much, I still kind of keep some of that knowledge, and I might have a better chance of recognizing something special when it's in front of me.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And like that stuff can just sit over there on Poshmark like forever because they don't charge fees for it to be sitting over there.
Right.
So, and if I've already listed it, I'm not going to take it down. So, and I've got a ton more to list yet too. So, but I'm going to definitely put my books first, and then I'll get to the clothing whenever I get to it.
Yeah. See, this is the bad part of I've gotten so into Amazon and scanning books, I've let my eBay account slide. So now I have like a really low amount listed, and I have to I'm at like 300, and I haven't been down that low for like 3 months. So I have to start listing again because I want.
It's hard to find that balance, especially when you're passionate about something and something's new and exciting. You just want to do that and only that. I can totally relate to that. Okay, so did we have any more questions, you guys, in the chat? I know we had one earlier. This goes way back to an eBay question from Jennifer Weddle. Let me see if I can pull this out bigger.
We better get some questions. I got a lot of vodka left here, guys.
She says, how do you find the other sellers on eBay around me? I search my zip code within 15 miles and nothing comes up. Do I have to select something else? Well, it might be that there's no other sellers within 15 miles if nothing's coming up, right?
Usually what I do, and I think what she's probably missing is click on the sold box and then type in, usually like up in your, whatever, in like the main search bar or whatever, like type in shirt or shoes, and that'll show you all the sellers in that area that have sold shirts and shoes. Usually you got to have some specific filled in there. It'll give you people that are selling stuff in your area. That's how I usually do it is just by solds. I'll just click solds, and then I'll type some video games. I'll just maybe I'll just type Nintendo or something like that, and it'll show me everybody that's selling Nintendo games in my area. And then I can kind of go to their, I can click on that and then actually pull up their actual store or whatever they have, and I can look at all their stuff that way. But so that's probably what she's missing.
Yeah, and Tracy Thrisset says, "Don't leave me. I work better when listening to my people."
Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
And here's a little tip is on books, as I recently was scouring Craigslist and under the free section, found this lady that had boxed like 5 huge boxes full of free books. I went and picked them up, and it's going to make me about $1,400.
Shut the front door. Are you serious?
Yeah, they were all nursing books. And I was scanning, and it was like $100, like $20, $40, $50. Like, yeah, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm processing them tonight, and I'm actually going to send them out, but I have a huge stack like over here, like to the right of me, and then more boxes.
Do you bag all your books then, Shane?
No, I just put the Amazon barcode on it.
Just slap the barcode on it and toss it in the box?
Yep.
Okay.
I use brown contact paper.
You know what's ironic about that, Shane? Is that like 10 years from now, the person that buys your book is going to donate it to Goodwill, and then some poor reseller is going to go to scan that book that you put the label on over the barcode. Yeah, and they're gonna have to peel your label off.
I know, right? I know. At least it's not a Goodwill sticker.
So did you say that you use the brown tape for that, Shane?
No, brown contact paper. Like the not contact paper, but just the brown paper. You can buy it in rolls.
Yeah, like I buy that stuff at U-Haul. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I just packed my Amazon shipments with brown paper because I think that's really about the only thing you can use. If you use like any kind of styrofoam or anything, they'll reject it.
Yeah, no peanuts either.
Yeah, no peanuts, no nothing like that.
So is it pretty easy for you to drop off your shipment once you get it together?
Oh yeah. I literally just do a FedEx label, and it's like a FedEx corporate, and I just drop it straight off.
Do they do FedEx now? Because I remember I used to send them. I used to send them UPS when I did it. Before.
Yeah, I do UPS.
You can choose UPS or FedEx. FedEx is a little cheaper.
Did they always offer FedEx?
I don't think so.
Okay.
A lot of things have changed.
Like, yeah, I don't think so.
What else has changed besides that? Like them offering FedExes, you can use that. Right before the show, we were talking. Something else changed.
I know the barcodes look different that you print out. They look different.
Okay.
The barcodes you print out now, like I actually have found old Amazon FBA barcodes on books that I sourced, and the barcodes are real thick, and they're like the barcodes are like they're very heavily lined and they're longer, and now they're a lot thinner and more like sleek on the barcode.
Shane, whenever you prep your packages, whenever you're getting your shipment ready, when I did it before, I was pretty like, I've only done like, I think 5 or 6 shipments in the past. When you do your shipments, do you print out one label at a time? Do you use one of those software things, or do you do like the 30 up labels?
I just do 30 up labels.
Okay.
I do 30 too.
That's how
I mean, and I've sent out shipments, like I just sent out one last weekend that had like 47 books. And I mean, they are kind of hard to keep track of. So when I process them, like I will keep them, like if they're good books, I will keep them in a good pile. If they're acceptable, I'll keep them in an acceptable pile. Because I've sourced 2 of the same books with different conditions before.
Okay.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
So when you print out your 30 up labels, it'll give you the title, and then you'll see like.
But it'll truncate it. It'll truncate the title, though, won't it?
Yeah, it truncates it, and you see a few words and a few ending words, and then you see the condition, and it'll say good or VG and you see the condition, so you have the condition to go off of. So I kind of keep them in those piles so I don't misinterpret them.
So I would be curious to know what your sales rank cutoff is for FBA.
Depends on the price, right?
Depends on the price. So I just have, let's see here. So this one right here is 200,000, I think, something like that.
Okay.
And it's a profit of $15.
Dude, I don't want anybody to be a medical surgical nurse that needs it done, that needs it to be incredibly easy.
Incredibly easy.
Like, go find another career field if it needs to be that easy for you. I don't want you working on me.
It's like a medical surgical book for dummies. That's what it reminds me of.
Yikes.
But I go off the e-score. And so that tells me how many times it's sold in the last 6 months. So if I have a book that's even hitting like a little over 1 million, and it has a 10 e-score, I pick it up. As long as it's like $30 profit or more, or even 20, 25, I might stoop below that. But that it sells 10 times in the next 6 months. So if you have an e-score, and I'm just using this example, I usually don't pick them up if they have a 10. My cutoff on the e-score that Scout IQ gives you is 30. If they are a very slow mover, my cutoff is 30 e-score and about 20 profit.
Higher number better or higher number lower?
Higher number better.
What's the max number you could have?
It's 151 plus is what
you're talking. What's this app? Scout IQ talk.
Yeah, it's like their own. It's their own like their own generated number, right?
Right. Yes.
That they've come up with.
That number is how many times it sold in the last 6 months. or how many times it's sold in a 6 month period. So the higher the number, the better. The lower number, the worse. And that's what I go off of. If I tried, I'll be honest, I tried just scanning books with the Amazon app, and it just doesn't work very well because you have to copy and paste it, and you have to look it up on Camel, and then you have to graph it out and see how many times it's sold in that month. When you even on Scout IQ, I have links on that to Camel and Keepa. So I can literally just click Camel and go over and look at the graph.
Hey Tonya, you know what? Like I didn't bring my little Bluetooth scanner today, and I scanned like over $100 today.
Yeah,
and you can if you want to try that app out, that Scout IQ app, it's a listen to me. I'm gonna sound like a marketer here, but you can download it, you can install it, give them your credit card. You got 14-day free trial, and you don't have to use a Bluetooth thing. Just scan them with your phone on your camera on your phone.
Okay.
And it's like way faster than using Amazon Seller app, even not having that thing.
See, here's my phone. I'm gonna scan one just with my phone. Already scanned, and then it hits. And the ding means accept. And that's what it looks like. And so the E-score on that book is 3. This one has a 2 million rank, but the profit is $21. It's a $60 book. So I'm fine with that. So, it sells 3 times.
So Tony, you could try that and see if you like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't, you can just get rid of it. And if you do like it, and you say, oh, I like this a lot, I want to get faster at it, then maybe you can look at a Bluetooth scanner. Mm-hmm. If it's something you want to get into deeper, but you can try the app without, getting any kind of hardware.
Yeah.
But see, this book was free. So literally, if it doesn't sell and I start getting too many storage fees, I'll just tell Amazon to destroy it, and I'm done.
Yeah.
That sounds so evil.
They'll destroy it for 10 cents.
I would love to see their book destroying factory that they have. They probably where they have like these monster shredders where these Amazon people just like bulldozing piles of books into these shredders.
Or it's like big like wood, like big stoves or something. They throw them in or something.
Sorry, Madeline was in here. But yeah, for me on Amazon FBA, it definitely had to be probably 900,000 and below. And that's even kind of high for me. So I'm thinking like maybe probably 500,000 and below.
And
so that whole experience of having to have all of that stuff returned back to you to avoid paying the long-term fees, and it's just a pain in the butt. So whatever I'm sending, I want to make sure it's going to be selling pretty quickly. So
I just had one the other day that it was like a 400,000 or not even that. It was like a 700,000 rank, but it had like a 140 E-score or 120. As soon as I sent it in, it sold. It was crazy. Yep.
What's the equivalent on Amazon? The sales rank.
It tells you the sales rank, so it was like 700,000.
The 140 sales means it moved 140 items in 6 months, right? 6 months.
But see, that sales rank is really tricky because it could have sold 140 in 2 months and then not sold at all, and then the rank just starts building up. So you can like have a book that's like $1 million, and as soon as it sells one, it drops down to 50,000.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because I always just use pretty much about $1 million as my cutoff. I was like, I really didn't source anything over $1 million. I always tried to stay kind of like Tonya, about 750,000 was my comfort zone. 500,000 was it pretty much when you send it in, it's gonna go.
The best part to look it up at is called Camel. And I'll show you this real quick. When you look it up on Camel, you're going to have a graph, okay? And it looks exactly like this. And here's the graph, okay? So that's for a year. I like to break it down for 3 months. So when I hit 3 months, the rank is the higher the rank is at the bottom here, and the lower the ranks here. So every time it goes down, it's a sale. So it tells me that in 3 months, this book sold 1, 2, and 2 times in the last 3 months. So you know, you can even break it down for 1 month. And usually I wouldn't get it, but since it was free,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Hey, Bun Crack Picker, I'm trying to say hi to you. I'm having a hard time chatting tonight over here in the chat. For some reason, it's super slow and lagging. I don't know why. So if you said hi to me, hi, everybody. Sorry, I can't type so fast. It's like just totally lagging.
It's funny. I've got a lot to learn. I feel like about books on FBA or books on Merchant Fulfilled. I feel that way like I did whenever I first started learning jeans, learning about, you know, all the different measurements, all the different and styles and brands of jeans. Not that I know a lot about them now, but I'm like equally clueless about books as I was about jeans. And it's like, it's really cool to have so much in front of me to learn.
Yeah, it's fun to learn something new.
Now, the returns on books, do you guys find the returns on, I mean, I know you guys sub as much as I do with books, but you find the returns on books are about as high as like a lot of the other stuff on Amazon? Yeah. You know, like video games and movies and, you know, that sort of stuff. God, I mean, they just seem like they returned so much of that stuff, you know, and I did get, you know, when I was selling a lot of books, even heavy, you know, yeah, it'd be like, you'd hit that month mark where it's like, okay, they just finished reading this book. And it's like, now I want to return it. You know what I'm saying? I would get that a lot.
I think they're lower on books.
That's a book sale.
That's a book sale.
I took an offer on a role-playing book on eBay just now. So.
What was the offer? What'd you take?
I had it listed at $17.99. They offered $15 plus shipping. So
nice.
I took it.
Oh, that's a nice offer.
That's a good sale.
That's a solid offer, right? I respect that kind of offer.
Yeah,
so.
At least it wasn't insulting. Will you take $3 for that?
Right.
How about 50 cents?
With free shipping?
Yeah, that's been like a Poshmark lately.
Yeah, and then they put free shipping in the comments. Like, oh. Why I oughta. Craig Murray's asking if I'm buying for myself. You know what? That might feel good. List some like really cheap stuff on eBay and like start buying shit from yourself just to hear that thing. I'll bet there's people that do that. It's like masturbating on eBay.
What? On this channel, okay? Behave yourself. Okay, it is 8:24.
Hey,
we're ready to cut this off.
It was a good bit. It's a good bit. Come on, don't kill the bit.
It's a good bit, was it? It's a good bit, not Spence.
Lonnie, that was a pretty good simulation there, though.
At 8:24, the show derails.
Groove Master Resellers is calling it e-baiting.
Good Lord.
I'm sorry, Tonya. I'm sorry. Don't be mad. Don't be mad, Tonya.
So we don't have Dwayne here, so we don't know whose channel this could possibly be on next time.
No, I think it's Andy's.
Yeah, and I won't be here next week. It's my anniversary next week, so I know that we're going to be out of town. So
You better take Desiree somewhere nice.
I will.
Yeah.
I think we're going out of state. So
no McDonald's.
We're romantic, Andy.
Huh? Yeah, we'll see what happens. She's been
how many years?
We've been together 10, but we've only been married 5. So
okay, awesome.
Yeah, this is round 2 for both of us.
So how is her dumpster diving going? Is she still getting into that, wanting to go?
We went. I think she's only been like 3-4 times. She had the one day I think I told you about where she got all the candles. She got a whole bunch of candles from Bath and Body Works. So she's been happy with those. She gave away a couple, and then she's been burning them. We got them all around the house. She actually got some good scent, so I didn't mind those.
Smells good.
Yeah, she got a bunch of towels from Bed Bath and Beyond. So we got some like towel sets. I kept a couple of them just for like washing the car and stuff, but because some of them were a little on the thinner side. But then we got some other ones, and then we went here local. She really didn't find nothing really to speak of, so. And then we've just been pretty busy the last couple weeks, so we really haven't got a chance to actually like kind of make a trip to go and do that. But
yeah,
she loves hitting the Ulta, that's for sure.
Oh yes. And so what are you going to do the next time you guys go?
I'll video it. Yeah,
Make a video. People want to see it.
Because she actually did. We actually had the security pulled up on us. One of them. Well, the one where she was actually in the bin. I think I sent you the picture where she was actually in the dumpster. Security pulled up, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, it was when she got the candles." She was like, She kind of started flirting with the guy, and he let her go. And she come back to the car, and she's like, "Oh," she goes, "Well, I'm glad I still got it." And she goes, "He let me off." So, but yeah, I see the car pull up, and I'm sitting in the car, and I'm like going, "Oh no." But yeah, it was still, she had fun. So
that's awesome. She sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, she can be.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to wrap this up. I guess what you guys will have to do is check out our Facebook group. It's called the Reseller Six Pack, and there's a link for it in the description box down below, as well as everybody's YouTube channel. So be sure and go and subscribe to everybody here on the panel, and be looking for us next week. Different channel, but the same time.
Yeah, we'll probably. This is always a good chance to talk to some master eBayers.
Right. Yeah. So if I am hosting next week, I need someone to switch with me, and then I'll take their week for them or whatever. But yeah, because I know next week I will definitely not be here.
No, you won't be. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We enjoyed seeing you guys in the chat. Good night, everybody.
It was fun. Bye,
everyone.
Night, everybody.